Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away Liquid Concealer right here. But before we get started, please make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell on the side so you can know whenever I post a new video. So I actually received this as a Christmas gift from my husband, so I've been using it for a few months now. I'm going to go ahead and include a little clip of the application of the product. So just to walk you through, this is from Charlotte Tilbury. This retails at $38 Canadian plus tax. This is a liquid concealer. The way it works is that you have a little, there we go, a sponge up here, and then you have the product over here, and you have to twist like this to get the product out here. I'm in the shade called 4 Fair Pale. It was a little bit tricky picking out my shade because I don't have access to a Charlotte Tilbury counter yet. I think we're gonna get one in about a month or so. So I had to order mine online. So I was looking at swatches and I did get number 4 Fair Pale. And I think I like the color because my biggest concern was getting one that was too dark. No one wants a dark concealer. So I do like the color. I think maybe if I gotten one that was a bit more peachy, that would have been equally as good. But the shade itself is nice. So this is supposed to be ideal for if you want a full coverage liquid concealer, and it's supposed to be good for hiding dark circles, blemishes, anything like that. So the clip that I showed you earlier, that is my application of the concealer. That is fresh application, and now I am several hours later. It is midday, and I wanted to show you guys a few things that happened throughout the day with this concealer. So just going back to the actual application itself, as you can see, there's this little sponge here, and there seems to be quite an accumulation of product here. I can't help but feel that I am losing some product here because sometimes, like when I'm done using it, I put it away, and then the next day when I want to use it again, when I go to tap the sponge, I feel like I'm not really getting much product, even though I know that I probably didn't use up all that was in here yesterday. So I always have to crank the concealer here to get more product. And sometimes I've often like gone in with my finger and just like pushed it like this to get product like this and then applied it, because I feel like sometimes just going in with a sponge, I can't really get enough coverage. So this concealer is extremely creamy. I'm not sure if it's marketed for mature skin or drier under eye area, but I do think that if you are someone who has a lot of problems with creasing or dry under eye, you could like this because, so as I mentioned, this is several hours later, and as you can see, there are some little smudges over here. I think it's mascara. On this side here, you have a pretty big little schmutz over here. Also, while we're this close, you can see that even though I've worn this for several hours, there is really no defined creasing under my eye area. So even though I've been talking, laughing, smiling, etc., you can see some very fine lines here, but they really aren't very pronounced. Now let's go ahead and try to remove some of these little schmutzes here. I find that this concealer almost doesn't really dry down. Like, it stays creamy throughout the day. So I feel like when I need to correct a little bit under my eye area, if I'm not careful, I will leave a fingerprint where I want to correct. I just feel like it almost, like, maybe that's why it doesn't crease, because it stays creamy and hydrated, so it doesn't have a chance to dry down. But that being said, it's kind of a gamble sometimes when you go to correct under the eye, because as soon as you go to do this thing, like we all do that thing, you can like either leave a huge fingerprint, or I've had times where I felt like I just actually erased all of the concealer. Like if I go like this, I feel like I just remove all the concealer, which I personally don't feel like that happens when I use the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer here, or the Clé de Peau Concealer, or even the Lancome Effacerne. I feel like when I use these throughout the day, if I have to do some corrections, I don't feel like I'm erasing the whole area. So yeah, that's a really weird thing. And I honestly feel like some days when I wear this concealer, it feels like if I touch it at all, I just wipe away the whole thing, and some days it doesn't, and I honestly don't understand why. And I don't know. I feel like the internet has been very divided on this concealer. I think half of the internet thinks that the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away is amazing, and the other half thinks it's not so great. I really don't know how to feel about it because I don't think I love the application. Like, I don't love the sponge here because it feels like a waste. I would rather just it be like open somehow. And I'm obviously not going to use this to blend it out. I use it to place, and then I go in with a separate sponge to blend it out. And I don't know, like, I like that it doesn't really crease on me, but I don't like the idea that I can't touch my under eye area, otherwise it'll look like disgusting, or like not disgusting, but like I'll have like a huge fingerprint run through. So I don't know. I'm very confused. And I think that if you have a super dry skin, extremely like mature eye area that like you need like that hydration, maybe you would like this because it doesn't seem to dry or set. It just kind of stays like wet. So maybe you would enjoy that. I don't think I will be repurchasing this. I'm glad I'm trying it, but honestly, I've kind of had to remind myself to use it because it's kind of annoying to use. I don't know, like just like the twisting and applying and then realizing there's not enough product, and then you keep going back. And I feel like I end up twisting a lot to get product to come out. And as I mentioned before, like sometimes I have to go in and like kind of scoop it out myself with my finger to get the product because I don't feel like I'm getting enough. So yeah, that's my review. I'm not really sure. I mean, I'm glad I tried it, but I wouldn't buy it again. And I think if you want to try it out, try it in person. Yeah, I think that's the biggest advice I can give you is to try it in person first, just to see. So yeah, that's my review on the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away concealer. As I mentioned, there is supposed to be a Charlotte Tilbury counter opening very soon in Montreal, so I will be able to actually go in store and try out the products, swatch them, etc. I'm very excited because I've been meaning to try Charlotte Tilbury products for a long time, but since I don't actually have access to a counter, it's kind of more difficult to buy things online. It's not the same thing. So anyway, hopefully in the near future, I'll be testing out more products from Charlotte Tilbury. So anyway, thank you guys so much for stopping by. I hope you guys found this video informative. I'm just realizing maybe not, because I'm just like, well, this is good, this is not good. It's up to you to decide. I mean, here are some pros, here are some cons. There you go. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Maybe let me know down in the comments what are some of your favorite Charlotte Tilbury products that for me to try out in the near future. What are some of like your absolute favorite Charlotte Tilbury products? Maybe I can give them a try very soon. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for stopping by. And that's all I have for you guys for today. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.